Okay, hi everyone, round two, hopefully you've got me now. Can you let me know in the comments if you can see the stream and if everything's working okay? That'd be really helpful. Huge apologies for the delay. Something like this hasn't really been done before many times, and to be honest, you know, these things happen, we have tech issues sometimes, but we're here now. Thank you so much for your patience. I can already see in the chat that there's lots and lots of comments and lots of people here. So welcome. So we'll get into the AMA as soon as we can, but just I feel like I need to give you a little bit of context first. For those of you that don't know, I'm Paddy Carroll, I'm the CMO of Bloktopia. I've been here from the start. You'll have seen me in AMAs that we've done before. It's been a little bit of a while, but we've been working up to doing one live from the Bloktopia metaverse, which is what we're doing here today. And it feels great to be able to do this. So I'm basically sat in Bloktopia HQ. This is what you will have seen in the alpha. My view through my Oculus headset is the inside of Block HQ. I can see ATMs, posters on the wall. I've got some questions from Twitter that the team have selected. So there's 5 questions here, and then I can see the full live stream. So I'm going to be cherry picking questions on here as we go along as well. Bear in mind, I mean, I think we firmly established this already, but this is live, guys. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of information for me to take in as well, and I'm going to try and get through it all as best as I can as we go along. So before we kick off, I just want to start by saying one of the things that we've been doing recently, if you follow us on Medium, is we've introduced something called Developer Diaries. That's where we've talked a lot about things like our avatars. We've talked about our avatar integration, our hand movements, our lip sync, getting our avatars into the Bloktopia world, and these developer diaries will progress. So we're going to get them out every week, and really we feel like it's the best way of explaining to our community where progress is at. All of this is working towards a live version of Bloktopia that we're going to have towards the end of the year, and that's still a plan. So yeah, let's get into some questions. I'm going to start with Twitter. So I've got one over here from Twitter that I'm going to pick out. The question is, will there be integrations of other metaverses in Bloktopia Skyscraper, maybe in such a way you can teleport in-game to another metaverse, for example? This is what I think of Bloktopia, like the portal to Web3, and that's from @MrMustache83, solid handle. Yeah, so absolutely. I think one of the things we've already announced is a partnership with Wilder World. We've got space in their metaverse, and we are going to have a building there called Block 21, obviously to pay homage to Bloktopia. Just as a reminder for those of you who don't know, we're building a metaverse here that's on 21 levels to commemorate 21 million Bitcoin. It's a VR skyscraper. And we see Bloktopia as being interoperable, somewhere where you can portal into other metaverses. We think that's in the benefit of the wider picture. You know, if we think about why we're here, we want to show people that cryptocurrency and NFTs are of a real benefit to the world. And so this idea of bringing people along on the journey, mass adoption of crypto and NFTs, we absolutely need to be interoperable. So yeah, there will be integration for sure. Okay, so I'm going to pick one straight in my eye line from Funny Status, which says Binance listing, sir. We touched on this a lot. I think Simon and Benson in the last AMA that we did touched on this question. The reality is we don't know when we'll be listed on any exchange. What I can say is we've got NDAs in place with all the major exchanges, and that's about all of the information that I can give right now. Just to give you a little bit of insight on general feedback, they like to see progression, right? So something like this today shows progression. I'm sat here in Bloktopia. This is an avatar that I created with Ready Player Me. I've put my photo into the Ready Player Me website, created my avatar. We've pulled that avatar into Bloktopia, and it works, and you can clearly see that today. So that's the idea. What we will do is we'll be able to show that progression. Our developer diaries will be a really good tool to be able to do that. And when we've got all of those things in place, all of the major exchanges, I have no doubt will be interested in Block, but it does all tie into the development of the project and how hard the team are really working here. And on that note, We've had a couple of technical hiccups today so far, but I just want to give a really big shout out to the dev team. They've put a lot of hard work, just non-stop really, into getting this all going today, and just their development over the last few months. And you know, without them we wouldn't be here, and they've taken a risk to come and work in a sector which, you know, not everyone wants to come and work in. They moved away from AAA games to do something pretty groundbreaking. We're building a metaverse. There's not many other examples I can think of companies that have done something like this before. So big shout out to the team as well. Okay, so I am going to pick another question out here, which is from YouTube. It says, will there be other partnerships not related to the crypto world, like the last one with the Edit LDN? So yeah, it's absolutely the intention for people who haven't seen that update. We posted last week about a partnership with the Edit LDN, and probably they're the first non-crypto brand, or that don't have some sort of tie into crypto, that have come into Bloktopia. They do accept crypto now. That was off the back of conversations that we had with Moses. And the idea is that they're seeing the potential in a whole new market. So if you look at fashion, there's a big opportunity in the world of fashion to be able to create digital wearables for an avatar. So this t-shirt, for example, the jeans, the shoes, all of these elements can, through an NFT mechanism, be something that you can purchase for your avatar. You can own it, but you can also be sent the physical clothing as well. So why that works, and why, again, coming back to integration, interoperability, why that's important is, this is a Ready Player Me avatar. I can walk into lots of other metaverses, lots of other games, over 100 plus, I think, Ready Player Me are partnered with at the moment. And what that enables me to do is come into Bloktopia, go to the Edit LDN store, buy some sneakers, and wear them in other games and other metaverses as well. And so that's the idea. That's really appealing to the fashion industry. We have a global fashion brand that we're currently in talks with. We hope to be able to announce soon. And things are just really starting to catch fire in that space. So yeah, we don't need to kind of rush all of our announcements all at once, but obviously over the course of the next few months leading up to live date, then we'll absolutely be doing that. Okay, so I'll pick one from Twitter now. Hopefully a quick and easy one. Where does the name Bloktopia come from? That's from @YFC_DanielZCX. So I remember sitting with Ross, who's the CEO of Bloktopia, when we were kind of thinking through brand names for this metaverse, this idea that we'd come up with. And Bloktopia is basically, it's pretty straightforward. It's a mix of utopia and blockchain. But it sounded really cool. You know, we immediately knew it was right, and we went with it. And I think, you know, the branding, everything that we've kind of accomplished in terms of the color palette and the look and feel is something that really captivated people at the back end of 2021. So hopefully we were in the right ballpark there. Okay, so I am now going to pick one from YouTube. We've got one from James Hickson. Paddy, how do you envisage the business growing in years to come? Will you have meetings in the metaverse and eventually take part in social events with colleagues there too? Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely, James. That's completely the idea. We are looking at a few different elements here. So look, there's going to be a shopping mall area of Bloktopia. I've talked about the Edit LDN and an example of that. We're also going to be able to offer workspaces, so that can be places where people can come, they can hang out with their colleagues, they can share ideas in a more immersive space than something like a Zoom meeting where, you know, potentially there's a bit of a block on people talking, there's a few issues on one person talking at a time. This is going to be more like a real life experience. And so, yeah, that's absolutely something that we plan to do. And then events is huge, isn't it, in the metaverse space, right? So we know that we've seen musical artists in the past performing. There's opportunities for sports stars, movie stars to have interviews, to showcase their talent, to have immersive one-on-one experiences, gift experiences. So yeah, that's the idea. Bloktopia is going to be able to cater for all of that. And what we're doing right now, this technology literally here already enables us to do that. So, you know, we're not too far all the way from this being reality. Question from IVI on YouTube, is it still possible to buy Bloktopia land? Yep, absolutely. So we have land sale on at the moment, which is, if you go to bloktopia.com, you can access the land sale website where we sell our Reblock NFTs. We have, I believe, 48 Reblock NFTs at the last count left in the Exodus sale. So yeah, jump on there if you're interested. There's a couple of things I wanted to call out here. Level 1 of Bloktopia, we know exactly where all of the stores are, who all of the stores are, I should say, that are going on to level 1. It's still to be determined a little bit on the higher levels, which is why we haven't attached brand names to all of those stores yet, but there will be brand names attached. In the Edit LDM, for example, and this global fashion brand that I've talked about, for example, aren't on level 1. They're on some of these stores. So there's a little bit of a mystery element to buying these spaces at the moment, but I think that's a pretty cool feature to be able to offer as well. And in due course, we'll be updating everyone on what reblock it is that they're attached to the store. So yeah, I think obviously a few more questions on Binance, but I covered that one off earlier about NDAs with exchanges. Sorry if you missed that. I've got one here from AISP. Staking is one of the most attractive ways to exist through a metaverse system where users can generate passive income. With this, can you tell us more about your token staking program? Well, yeah, we've got staking live on the website too. It's not open at the moment. We will be opening more staking pools in due course. Just so you're kind of aware of all of the opportunities that we offer, we have Reblock NFTs. So going back to the land sale and what that is and what that offers is you get you generate a rental income from your Reblock NFT and ownership of it. So initially that'll be set at 10%. Over time that will increase as rent goes up for tenants within Bloktopia. So there's good opportunity to kind of earn passive income there. There are also opportunities to go into Jobs, which is just a smaller commitment of block to put in, and then obviously staking as well. These are opportunities we offer with the block token. Obviously none of it is financial advice, but we want to give as many opportunities as we can to generate income from block, if that's what somebody wants to do. And worth pointing out right now that Jobs 63 and 64 are now live, so that's, I'm sure, getting announced somewhere right now. But if you aren't in a Job and want to get into one, it stands for Jointly Owned Block Enterprise, then feel free to jump in and join up. Okay, so I'm going to take another question from Twitter, and this one is, when's block burning? So that's from at MadHusu. So at MadHusu, I think it's probably a question that is on everyone's lips. We've actually got some news in this regard today. So we've made a decision to burn all block associated to Reblock sales. So that's retrospectively and moving forwards. We had previously said we would burn 50% and lock away 50%. We're now going to burn it all. So everything that is used to purchase Reblock, we're going to burn all that block. So right now, there is a burn happening. We'll be able to post that information in the chat, and it's 277,080,000 block tokens. I think that's in and around, obviously I can't see the price right now, it's in and around $1.5 million. And so that burn's happening right now, or certainly before the end of the chat. And I think the thing to remember with token burns is it's within our gift to be able to add future burns as we move along. It's always been our intention. We will be burning block from Reblock sales. There's obviously the opportunity to do more as well in time. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question at MadHusu. So I'm going to pick one from YouTube again now. So it's Trust Me, I'm Welsh. Good name. Billboard style advertising is familiar to public and retailers, making it an obvious choice in Bloktopia. How do you see ads and placements changing in future to make them less conventionally annoying? Yeah, I think really good question. So look, there's also a similar question on Twitter, and I'm going to read that one out as well. Is the cost effectiveness of metaverse advertising still unknown? That's from @Grace and Piers. For those of you that don't know, I'm from a marketing background. I've worked in advertising for years. I've worked at companies like BT Group here in the UK, Flutter Entertainment, and ran media budgets well into the tens of millions of pounds. So I've got a good idea of advertising, what you can do offline and online, and what the options are. The thing about Web 2, the internet, is it took a while to pick up advertising on the internet, actually. People didn't really trust that pound buy versus what they could get from established offline TV, billboards, newspapers, all that kind of opportunity. But now, obviously, digital marketing is absolutely huge. Web3 is just the next iteration of that. But the difference is Web3 can be more thought out, to the point of the question from YouTube. So people just made websites and then engineered advertising into it. And that's why it's a clunky and not a nice experience. We can think it through more in the Web3 space. It's more like a real life experience. It doesn't have to be as intrusive. That's really appealing to an advertiser. We know exactly who our audience are as well. That's really appealing to an advertiser. So cost effectiveness doesn't net out right now because there aren't really any metaverses out there that have lots of advertising within them at the moment, but over time it will do, and it will be an appealing space for advertisers. James Hickson's added, Paddy, are you an Owls fan? Yes, I am, James. Yeah, this is Sheffield Wednesday. We're in League One in England, and we're not very good at football at the moment, but that doesn't stop me from being a fan. It's an affliction from age, but yeah, come on, up the Owls. Okay, so I'm going to take another question from Twitter. This one is, with the change from HDRP to URP, was it a setback to the roadmap? And that's from @FalkJoeBruv. Well, look at FalkJoeBruv. No, it wasn't, is the simple answer. We created the alpha of Bloktopia in HDRP. Obviously, it looks great. It's what captured the imagination of everyone in the world. We always had to move to URP because otherwise we wouldn't be able to offer a virtual reality solution of Bloktopia, and that is key. So these Oculus headsets, not a huge amount of people in the world have them. In terms of mass reach, mass adoption, we have to keep both options open. We have to kind of have a downloadable PC version of Bloktopia, and we have to have a VR version of Bloktopia. The reason for that, though, is this move to URP is to enable it to be something that we can use in VR, and that's where you get your immersiveness. That's where you can kind of come in and really feel like, right now I feel like I'm sat in the Bloktopia HQ. It's quite a bizarre feeling. When I lift my headset back up, I'm going to feel like I'm sat back in the office. And this is what this world enables. It enables that different experience. That's important, and that's going to grow over time. But we're trying to cater from an accessibility perspective to as many people as we can. It wasn't a setback to the roadmap, therefore, but is it complex? Does it add certain layers of complexity as we move through, kind of not only just tying up the tech side from Unity, working through the URP stack, but also tying it into the blockchain? Yeah, absolutely. All the networking that the guys have done, everything we've updated on developer diaries, it's a lot of work for the team, and, you know, going back to my point earlier, that's why I'm kind of proud of where they're at the moment. So I've got one from YouTube, Tom Robinson. What are you most looking forward to doing in the Bloktopia metaverse, Paddy? Well, right now it's this. So, you know, we've been talking about me doing this for a couple of weeks, and we've obviously been working towards that goal. It's really cool. I can't give a better description of it. It's really cool. You know, just seeing people interact, the comments that are coming in, it really gives you that feel for what Bloktopia is and what it's going to become. And can you imagine when you can then just walk around, pick things out to wear for your avatar? You know, we're going to be looking in like mirrors, swiping, trying on different shirts, trying on different sneakers, going and watching an event, seeing some music. It's just great. You know, this is why we come to work every day. We're all really excited about what the opportunities are in Bloktopia. So hopefully that's answered that question and wasn't too vague. I'm just excited about it all, Tom. So Ravindra Singh has said, when can I explore Bloktopia? Well, look, we're working towards our VR alpha. That's the next thing that you're going to see. Obviously, being able to do something like this today shows we're not too far away. We just want to make sure it's right before we release that, and that's going to be something that we release next. We're then working towards a live version for later in the year. You'll be able to explore the alpha, you'll be able to explore later in the year, you can explore as much as you like, and hopefully have already explored the kind of first alpha that we had out earlier in the year as well. So another one from Chaz Shah, would you like to do partnerships with other big metaverse projects like down the road, something like Sandbox or other big projects? Again, yeah, I think we touched on this with a question from Twitter. We wouldn't exclude that opportunity to work with other metaverses. We think there's probably a common goal that we're working towards. So yeah, absolutely, it's something that we'd like to do. James Hickson's been putting a lot of questions in here, and I've just seen one pop up saying, will you be doing these AMAs regularly? Yes, we will. Not just me, we're going to get members of the team to come in and talk about things more from a technical perspective as well, because as you can probably tell, I'm not the most technical person here right now, but hopefully I'm doing a good enough job of answering the questions so far. Okay, so I'm going to take one from Twitter again. No, actually, we've finished the 5 on Twitter. I'm going to go back to YouTube. So just a note that the team are feeding through to me is that the TXID for the token burn's live on Twitter and in our Telegram chat. So that burn's now been done. So yeah, good news there. Thumbs up for that one. Yep, so that's great. We are also going to, well, there's a couple of things that I'd like to sort of touch on as well related to just tokens in general. So not specifically answering a question now, but we've also made a commitment which we're going to share today because, look, there's some things that I'd like to clear up. We put a message out earlier about proof of support. So, and that showed 2 routes that private investors can take to prove that they're supporting Bloktopia moving forwards. Can I just make it really clear, we know who all of our private investors are. If you think you are one, you're probably not. We are talking here about people who in our really early investment periods supported Bloktopia by putting some investment in. These aren't people who took part in a pool group, who took part in an IDO. This absolutely doesn't apply to you. We are asking for some of our early investors to hold more block tokens, pretty simply, and that's it. And effectively, all of this is to try and help the community, help the price of the token, help the project, because there have been, unfortunately, a few instances where some of our early investors have dumped a lot of block tokens on the market, and that's not something we want to do moving forwards. And, you know, just to be really clear as well, and this is another kind of announcement for right now, we've taken a decision to lock up our own team tokens. Our team tokens and our advisor tokens, which is a pretty big figure. We're going to share all of the numbers in a Medium article straight after the AMA, but they're getting locked up. They were supposed to start releasing from the beginning of October this year, and they're going to be locked up until October 2023. So there'll be no access to those, and they're the only pots of block tokens that haven't been opened yet. So that's our commitment as well, and I think, you know, it's a big one from the team because obviously everyone's working hard here and is entitled to those tokens. So yeah, I just wanted to update on tokens and some really big news there. There's a few questions still coming in, and I think I'm probably going to take another 2-3 questions before we wrap things up. I think I've covered hopefully most topics, but I think yeah, we've touched on proof of support, we've touched on the team token lock, we've touched on the public token release is one. So the other point to make is 48 NFTs left in the Exodus sale. Once they sell, we're going to release public tokens. So again, if you think you were an early investor and you're not, as I touched on before, you're probably in the public sale. And if you're in the public sale, the good news is after we've sold the 48 NFTs from Exodus, we're going to release the rest of the public sale. So all of those tokens, I think there's 25%, something like that left to go out. They're going to be released to the public. So and that'll be it. You'll get all of your block tokens at that point, which is good news. Okay, so can Bloktopia, this is a question from Lockman Kilich, can Bloktopia be adapted to mobile in the future? Will we be able to visit the stores on the screen of our mobile phones? So in the future is kind of the key point of that question. Yeah, again, we want to make Bloktopia as accessible as possible as we move forward. Initially, we're looking at the Oculus headset. We are looking at a downloadable PC game, but over time, that's definitely going to evolve, and we'll be looking at the opportunities for things like mobile for sure. Bitped, in the next 5 years, how do you see the Bloktopia? Explain about it. Yeah, look, so much can happen in the next 5 years in this space, and that's what's really exciting. That's what's driving the team at the moment. We're concentrating on the shopping mall area. We're concentrating on getting that live, getting it right, making sure everything works. And once everything does work, it really opens up our possibilities and the opportunities. So higher up the tower in Bloktopia, we've talked about people being able to own their own spaces, their own apartments, but we feel like we can be a little bit more inventive than that, more creative, which is really exciting. That's a great opportunity. You know, it doesn't have to be just a standard apartment up there. We can really bring it to life and make it very exciting for people. And you know, so they can own their own apartment, their own house, their own land, their own piece of the Atlantic Ocean. You know what? That's the beauty of a metaverse. You know, the opportunities are limitless. So over the course of the next couple of years, you know, that's going to be something we're trying to achieve. In 5 years, you know, who knows where that could take us. But we want to be the metaverse of choice for people, especially if they're interested in cryptocurrency and NFTs, and that's what we're working towards. Okay, Don Tucker, what are 3 features of Bloktopia that you feel gives the most competitive advantage within the metaverse space? Yeah, so number one, and the big one, is that we are building a metaverse. We're building this vision from scratch. Yeah, we haven't already built a game that we're trying to retrofit into being a metaverse. This is a metaverse, you know, we're building that to a very specific brief. And so that gives us a huge advantage over anything that's live at the moment, because metaverse just became a buzzword in 2021. We've got the opportunity to build something that people want, and that's where, as we get something out and we take community feedback and we open it up bit by bit, we can optimize, we can improve, we can tweak. Being able to socialize in Bloktopia in this immersive way that I'm seeing right now, and being able to kind of go into stores and shop in a completely new way for a completely new purpose are just some of the things that I'm really excited about. And then just an extension on that, I think Jade10 has said, Paddy, do you plan to expand the universe of Bloktopia? I think of Bloktopia as a city, and the current 21 level building is the centre of that city. There could be another 21 level building like WBTC. Yeah, I think, you know, we've got a lot on building these 21 levels. It is a lot of work, but obviously when we get to the position where we're building up, the team's bigger, recruitment's constantly ongoing. We have huge ambitions for this, and so yeah, that gives us opportunity to expand in time. But we're talking kind of way down the line, and that's not a decision that we've come to, but could be a consideration for sure. And then last question is from Chris Smith. What do you like most about being part of Bloktopia? Well, look, I just come to work every day with a smile on my face, because I've worked in roles that are quite corporate, where there's a lot of red tape, where there's a lot of restrictions. Bloktopia gives us a sense of freedom, because we're building something that's the future, effectively. It's not been done before, not in the way that we're doing it. And so that's so exciting, isn't it? Like, who couldn't be infused by that? Who wouldn't want to, come into work every day with a big smile on their face like I do? So yeah, look guys, loads of questions still coming in. I'm so glad we managed to get this working, and we will be doing lots more of these. Thank you so much for your patience at the beginning. Our community is awesome. Everything we're putting out at the moment has been really well received. Thank you so much. Thanks to the team for getting us here today. We're really looking forward to the next AMA, and there will be opportunities to ask more questions. We've got a million block as a prize. We're going to split that up into the 5 best questions. The team are going to pick those 5 questions, and we'll be in contact with the people that asked them. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. Really enjoyed that, and I will see you next time.